Good morning everyone. This is Kamikawa Kaolin. Lie like exhaling. Is this? It is a word that accurately expresses the state of ghetto, telling lies without any confusion. Last time, Heidman, Sotnikova, Naoya Tomita, Paralympic Judo, I introduced examples such as unjustified threats and harassment of Koreans are not limited to foreigners. Among Koreans, power harassment and sexual harassment are rampant among the same Koreans and relatives. We are crushing ourselves. This is exactly the reason why it is called Gaido. From 2014, the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism of Korea set out to eradicate violence and injustice in the sports world, giving and receiving money, and uncovering match fixing. It has been pointed out that there are still many incidents and accidents. Kwok Sand, a member of the Education, Culture, Sports and Tourism Committee of the Diet, according to the materials submitted by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism, from the establishment of the Sports Fraud Report Center to the present, a total of 742 cases have been filed. Of the 559 cases that have been investigated, cases that have been sent to an investigative agency or disciplined, it was confirmed that the number reached 122. By year, 274 cases in 2014, 197 cases in 2015, 209 cases in 2016, in 2017, 62 sports frauds were declared by August. By type, organizational privatization was the most common with 248 cases. 87 cases of match fixing, unfair judgment, 30 cases of violence, illegal entrance exam was in the order of 21 cases. By item, Taekwondo was the most common with 106 cases. 71 baseball games, soccer accounted for the majority with 63 cases. 22 skates in a row, 15 ice hockey games, 10 skis, 4 bobsleighs, etc. It was found that events related to the Pyeongchang Winter Olympics were also included. On June 26, 2020, Korean triathlete Choi Suk-hyeon died himself at the young age of 22. Choi Suk-hyeon was a female triathlete born in 1998. She jumped into the world of sports as a swimmer. She then went on a triathlon path, also known as the Tetsujin race, because of her harshness. She was active in the triathlon team in Jeongju, South Korea. At the ASTC Asia Triathlon Championship 2015 held in New Taipei City, Taiwan in 2015, she has been active, such as winning third place, and was recently held in October last year. She finished 14th in the women's elite of the International Triathlon Championship. Choi Suk-hyeon was found dead in her dormitory in Busan on June 26. A KakaoTalk message sent to her mother shortly before her death: "Mom, I love you. Make those people's sins clear." She is believed to have committed suicide because it was written. After that, her bereaved family said, Che's suicide is caused by bullying from the coach of her team, sports doctors, and some senior players. The whole of South Korea became tumultuous. On July 1, an acquaintance of Choi went to the homepage of the Korean presidential office, pursuing a thorough investigation into the death of Choi Suk-hyeon. The petition was raised, and it attracted more public attention. In addition, the bereaved family, the audio that seems to have been recorded at the scene of the assault on Choi Suk-hyeon was also released. The act of hitting and kicking is repeated for about 20 minutes, and it is a difficult voice to hear. Also, when the call record of Choi Suk-hyeon, who was consulting with the police, will be released, her senior ordered me to buy her bread for tens of thousands of yen. When I bought it and returned, I discovered bullying such as being fed until I spit it out. In addition, KBS News reported there was a past when Choi was forced to drink in the team when he was a minor. From the team doctor, Che, pushed to the limit while receiving psychotherapy, I'll induce you to commit suicide. According to the survey, Choi Suk-hyeon, since February of this year, she has begun to sue power harassment and bullying against various organizations. However, it was not a big problem to appeal the assault to the police, and they could not deal with it. He then appealed to 5 organizations 6 times, but none of them were dealt with. Finally, after calling the Human Rights Center of the Korean Sport and Olympic Committee, equivalent to the Japan Sports Agency, he has died his own life. Following this, Choi and 2 female triathletes who were teammates held a press conference and made further accusations. According to it, the team doctor said that it was a treatment. He was sexually harassed by relentlessly touching his chest and thighs. In addition, the manager will give every time a player participates in an international competition. Despite the support from the state and federations, there are also suspicions that he had collected about 80–100,000 won from each player. The seriousness of the incident began to attract attention. President Moon Jae-in scolded related ministries and agencies such as executives of the Ministry of Culture and Physical Education. He orders a thorough investigation of the truth and the creation of countermeasures. On July 13, 2020, Ahn Joo-yeon, a team doctor, was immediately detained by the police. It became clear that he didn't have a doctor's license. It was discovered that he was on the team as a doctor. Did Ahn Joo-yeon think? He said he had begun a statement admitting some charges to the police. Currently, other suspected directors and some senior players it is in a state of completely denying assault and abuse against Choi. That is why Ahn Joo-yeon's statement is it is expected to be a great help in clarifying the suspicions of managers and players. This is not the first time that the issue of sexual harassment and power harassment for Korean athletes has been raised. It has been featured in the news several times before. Former tennis player Kim Eun-hee in 2018 he has been sexually assaulted by his coach since he was 10 years old, confessed through overseas media and a big shock ran. The coach has since been sentenced to 10 years in prison for manslaughter. Choi Min-suk, who oversaw the 2014 Sochi Olympics women's curling team, she has since resigned after being accused of harassment by the players. In the same year, the Korean Sports Olympic Committee announced an investigation report on sexual harassment damage suffered by female athletes. One of the 7 responded that they had been damaged. Of course, this issue is not unique to South Korea. June 24, Athlete A on Netflix. The documentary film called was released. This is a documentary that follows the 2016 USA gymnastics sex abuse case. Newspaper reporters who scooped up the actual victims and the incident appeared in the face and became a hot topic. In the interview, the victim's former gymnast, violence, rants, and sexual harassment are being used to make players easier to control. He says, he is overwhelmed by violence and rants, driving him into a small world and brainwashing like a robot. The team is the kingdom of the director and team doctors. Choi Suk-hyeon's 2 colleagues at the press conference inside the team, it was a closed kingdom with a manager, a team doctor, and some players. Is saying, there may have been darkness common to the sports world. In athlete's accusation, as a result, the perpetrator's team doctor was sentenced to 175 years in prison. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. After that, coaches who knew the fact of the abuse but did not declare it were also caught. At the end of the movie, more than 120 victim women were in front of the perpetrator's doctor. The climax of witnessing in court makes us feel a tremendous impact. On the other hand, this case is it came to light after the worst result of Choi Suk-hyeon's suicide. If it was discovered a little earlier, Choi would have been helped. It's a shame to think so, and it may still be happening somewhere in the world, controlling power harassment and sexual harassment in the sports world. Don't let the second US Open gymnasts and Choi Suk-hyeon come out. I hope that we will continue to work on it. Before his death, Choi Suk-hyeon called the Human Rights Center of the Korean Sport and Olympic Committee. Because the perpetrators of bullying provided evidence of counter-argument, please provide additional material on bullying. At this time, if she had words that were close to her heart, she may not have chosen the extreme choice I. What does South Korea mean? It is said that one of the representative words of Korean society is uri and nam. In the sense of self and others, in acquaintances such as relatives, we take actions according to the hierarchical relationship based on Confucian thought. For other people, actions are taken to thoroughly conquer the other person. Focus on taking the initiative. Consciousness is concentrated on each other's hierarchical relationship. If they aren't related, they're competing for superiority because they stand on top. If you try to have a relationship, you will be arguing which one will stand up in the hierarchy. It is said that a battle for extremely fierce superiority and inferiority will be developed. The most apparent feature is in the world of sports. The extreme competitive consciousness that tries to thoroughly despise the other party. I think it's more suitable for sports than Japanese people, but it's too selfish, and as a result, from all over the world. 1. Koreans have a strong nationalism, but they try to show it off with violence. 2. In spite of training players all over the country, neither the athletes nor the people could understand the meaning of the word sportsmanship at all. I can't admit I lost. It has been criticized. Not only Japan, but also Asian countries and Western countries. He is extremely disgusted with South Korea's behavior on the international stage. Do Koreans know? If you are a Korean who noticed it, please leave a comment. Lie like exhaling. The Japanese, and people all over the world, should never forget this word. Don't be fooled by Korean lies. That's all.